to my channel. This is my first ever proper video. In today's video I kind of wanted to combine my favourite thing to talk about, which is books, as well with my favourite season, autumn. We're going to clash them together and do a spooky autumn TBR. So these are all the books that are currently on my full TBR / wish list that I want to get around to reading this season. Bear in mind, I'll be honest, I'm not the quickest reader in the world. Hopefully I get a lot of these ticked off my list. I don't actually own any physical copies of any of these books. Ever since I got my Kindle, I haven't gone back to physical copies. Literally, this is my pride and joy. Obviously, if I really end up liking a book, then I will purchase it. But for now, let's get on with the recommendations. So hopefully you'll find some good ones in this Rex. I've also included most of these newly published, so they're quite new and they're not like the typical, autumn books that get regurgitated around each season. So the first book we're going to talk about is If We Survive This, which is a young adult horror, and it's about an 18-year-old girl who kind of journeys with her brother to a safe haven during an apocalypse. Yeah, when I was reading the description of this, I was like, this is giving me major The Walking Dead. And I don't know about anyone else, but that show gives me major anxiety. So I'm sure I'm gonna be anxious reading throughout this book. Ooh, this next one I'm excited for. It's called Smile for the Cameras, and it's basically a former kind of slasher horror movie star. She comes back for a reunion documentary, and essentially the killer from her movie starts targeting her in real life. So yeah, I just love weird, or not even weird, just new concepts like that, because I feel we kind of get given the same when it comes to thrillers and horrors, and I want a bit of newness. So the next one is Bad Creek, and this is a supernatural horror. And after their friend previously drowned in the creek a year before, 3 friends come together and start discovering some dark truths and dark secrets. And I think there's some type of monster or some, well, yeah, supernatural creature, I'm guessing, that lives in the creek. That is genuinely my worst nightmare, by the way. Anything to do with water, or the things that live in even in the sea, the unknown in the sea. The next one is Society of Lies, and this is a dark academia set in college, and basically it's the female main character's college reunion, and it's also her younger sister's graduation as well. However, her younger sister dies, and the older sister kind of comes to the college to kind of almost essentially investigate, and uncovers that her sister was a part of a secret society. I'm expecting this book will be similar to Bunny. Bunny is one of my favourite books, by the way. It's my favourite weird like trippy horror books. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't read this, I think you really should, but like, just be warned, like you'll be more confused after you've finished it, and you will need to like jump on Reddit and look at like the conspiracy theories or like the explanations people give. But it is very like unique, and that's kind of the vibe I've been going for, especially this season. So hopefully Society of Lies is similar. Next we have Cuckoo, which is based I think in summer 1995. Some queer teens have been sent by their families to try and convert them, and I'm not sure if this is like has some supernatural elements to it, but essentially they all end up leaving the camp, not themselves. That's what the description says, so I'm assuming something very sinister happens. And then it's like 16 years later and they're trying to stop whatever's happening from happening. Sorry, I'm really bad at like giving descriptions because I normally do love to go into a book completely blind. So bear with me on that aspect. I'm sure like you guys can obviously go look up the books and read the descriptions yourself. This is just me trying to give like as quick as a synopsis as possible. Ooh, this one I've been really excited to read actually. This is A Dowry of Blood, and it's about Dracula's first wife, and it's from the perspective of her and how I guess she comes to terms / deals with her abusive relationship. I think this book definitely will give like female rage, which so hopefully that's what we're gonna get with that. I have another one called Mayra. I'm not like 100% certain if this is really a horror novel because I have like read mixed reviews. So this is a southern gothic horror, and our main character hasn't seen her friend in a decade, and then out of the blue her friend invites her to a weekend getaway in a house in the Everglades. And when our main character goes, she meets her like best friend and her best friend's weird behaving boyfriend, who she kind of knows there's something off about him. Ooh, Doll Parts. Okay, Doll Parts has been on my TBR for ages, but it literally only, when did it release actually? It literally released on the 26th of August. So let me read you the description on this one. For best friends Nikki and Sadie, college was supposed to be a fresh start. A way to blast Courtney love from car speakers and leave their youth behind. But along with sadness, obsessed girls and intrusive professors, a dark story plagues their small all-women's school, the Sylvia Club, a campus legend surrounding the deaths of multiple Sylvia Plath adoring students, all written off as suicides. Aspiring writer Nikki finds herself drawn to the tragic tales, so much so that dead girls begin to haunt her dark imagination. She digs deeper. Nikki soon suspects that there's much more to the story, a suspicion that will lead to a tragedy of its own, one that will tear her and Sadie apart. It's been nearly 20 years since Sadie last saw her estranged friend. Now Nikki is dead and Sadie ends up pregnant by Nikki's grieving husband not long after the funeral. Sorry, what? She finds herself stepping into her ex-best friend's seemingly perfect life. But the longer Sadie lives in Nikki's eerily preserved home, the more she sees her appear, and soon she's convinced that Nikki is sending her clues from beyond the grave. This is very much giving supernatural, which is a bit of me. Again, the final rec I have is What the Woods Took, which is described as Yellow Jackets meets Girl Interrupted. So teens are sent to a wilderness therapy program and they have to survive a 50 days hike through the wilderness. Through the wilderness. However, there's something like very demonic lingering there. Sorry guys, my descriptions are just dreadful. Okay, well hopefully with my awful descriptions you guys would have found like some recommendations that you want to read during autumn. Yeah, thanks for watching my first video. I promise I will improve. I want to start doing like prompts pick my TBR. They're my favourite videos to watch, so I definitely want to do that. Wrap-ups, reading vlogs, like some ultimate full reading vlogs and where we bake recipes. Do some autumn activities. That's the kind of thing I wanna do, so. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my video.